We're gonna go from the least expensive to the most expensive to get a full set of Radiator Springs citizens. And later we do a tour of the updated Disney Pixar Cars Diecast collection. Number 13.
The hotshot rookie race car that the Cars movie follows is voiced by Owen Wilson. McQueen's design is a combination of NASCAR's stock car, Porsche 911, and some Ford GT40 curves, and a little bit of classic Corvette, especially when he gets that fancy paint job and white wall tires in Radiator Springs.
Number 12.
The lovable Mater is a rusty tow truck that lives in Radiator Springs and is voiced by Larry the Cable Guy. He quickly becomes Lightning's best friend, at least in his eyes, and based off two classic truck designs. Mater's front takes some inspiration from the early Chevrolet 3800 Task Force pickups, while the rear and side mirrors are based off of an international tow truck.
Number 11.
The fabulous Hudson Hornet himself, Doc Hudson. The once famous dirt track racer now resides in Radiator Springs, living out his days as the town doctor and judge. He makes quite the impression on Lightning during his stay and goes on to be his crew chief at the Piston Cup Championship. Doc is based off a 50s Hudson Hornet as well as the real fabulous Hudson Hornet race car. The character was voiced and based on the late great Paul Newman, who is both a famous actor and an avid racer himself.
Number 10.
Sarge runs an army surplus and boot camp outside of town where he hardens some soft SUVs with his military experience. His design is based off of a World War II era Willys Jeep MB. Sarge's backstory kind of makes you wonder, was there a Cars World War?
Number 9.
Ramon runs a local shop, but he probably uses his service more than any other car. His colors and pinstriping may change throughout the Cars movie, but his design is based on the late 50s Chevrolet Impala lowrider. He gets so low that you could probably classify him as being slammed.
Number 8.
Sally Carrera is Radiator Springs' town attorney and the love interest of Lightning in the Cars movie. She is voiced by Bonnie Hunt, and she is based off of a Porsche 911 Carrera.
Number 7.
Luigi runs the local tire shop in Radiator Springs and is a huge European racing and Ferrari fan. His small car design is based off of a 60s Fiat 500. If you look closely, you'll notice that his hair is actually the convertible roof of the Fiat model.
Number 6.
Guido works closely with Luigi at his tire shop and is one of the quickest tire changers the Piston Cup has ever seen. Guido is obviously a forklift, but his design is reminiscent of a BMW Isetta with his 3-wheeled setup.
Number 5.
Sheriff is the typical no-nonsense small-town officer you'd find in rural America. His design is based off of a Mercury police cruiser, otherwise known as the Mercury Club Coupe for pedestrian use. The car's grille design works perfectly as a mustache for Radiator Springs Sheriff.
Number 4.
Filmore is a classic portrayal of a good vibes hippie. His paint job is very vibrant and whimsical with flowers and peace signs plastered around. His design is based off of the classic hippie mobile, the 70s Volkswagen. You commonly find him touting his organic fuel.
Number 3.
Lizzie is the oldest member of Radiator Springs. She's portrayed as being a little senile in her old age. Lizzie is based off of a Ford Model T 2-door, and her late husband Stanley appears to be an early Stanley Steamer Model E2.
Number 2.
Red is the gentle giant of the Cars movie, as he is the character of few words and is commonly found taking care of the flowers around Radiator Springs. He also commonly gets upset and brings out the waterworks. Red is obviously a fire truck, but more specifically, he resembles an early Persh cab Ford pumper.
And number 1.
Here we have it, the final and most expensive member of Radiator Springs. Flo.
Flo runs the V8 Cafe in Radiator Springs and was a one-of-a-kind showgirl back in the day. Her design is based off of an actual one-off concept show car from the 1957 GM Motorama show. Those prominent tail fins and that bright 50s blue color fits in perfectly alongside the neon-lit gas station she resides in.
So that's it. Every citizen of Radiator Springs. 13 cars and 1 Stanley statue for a grand total of $101. Bonus cars?
Mia and Tia are the groupie twins that's in love with Lightning McQueen in the Cars movie. They are modeled after the Mazda MX-5 Miata. Chick Hicks is the grizzled vet and the main antagonist of the Cars movie that is voiced by Michael Keaton. The runner-up resembles a Buick Grand National stock car. The king is voiced by the real-life racing king himself, Richard Petty. There is no better car to represent Richard Petty in the Cars universe than a bright blue number 43 Plymouth Superbird, a car he himself drove during his championship runs. His wife Linda Petty even received a cameo as Linda Weathers, a Chrysler town and country station wagon from the same 70s era.
$136 for the entire 19-figure collection. At least you got them all. What? How many more are there? There are 1,550 cars over 17 years? $11,500.
Whoa, how long is this gonna take?
Well, fella does it right, should take him about 5 days.